to Show and Sell, the show that celebrates digging through other people's trash. Thank you, guys. My name is Chris. I'm Trash Dragon of the West. This is my guitar, Mr. Blankenship. Thank you, Mr. Blankenship. I sell media on eBay and Discogs, books, CDs, and LPs, and the like.
Ooh, I'm Katie. I am Trash Dragon of the South, and I sell clothing and accessories, but I hunt for all kinds of treasure, especially sparkly treasure and very unique treasure.
Hi, I'm Joe. I'm the Trash Dragon of the East, and I sell a lot of a little bit of everything. And if you have a lot of any one thing, I love that specifically. Like hundreds of pins, hundreds of dozens of flints for a Zippo lighter, whatever. I want it. So let me know, and I will sell your pallets of weird trash and other things too. I sell other things as well.
Fantastico. Well, we're unless anyone's got some big news that they want to share, let's move on to our first segment.
I got a diploma.
What's big news? Francis is getting married.
He's got a master's in tongue. What is?
He's a linguist. He's amazing.
So we're going to go to our first segment, which is Thing That Brought You Joy.
That brought you joy.
So Chris, what brought you joy?
Me?
You. Chris,
other than looking good and feeling good? That's a good question.
You look classy.
Huh?
You look classy.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to class my stuff up. This is a item that I found. It is a shoe hoard, as you can see.
Whoa!
It's for sitting down and putting your shoes in classy style while sitting, and you don't have to bend over. It's got a silver seahorse on the top. It's got a little holder for leather. A leather holder. It's not old, but it is classy. And this actually was a little special because I think I mentioned this a little bit, but I've lost a little bit of my thrifting fever. It kind of broke a little bit last year, and I've been trying to reclaim it. And I went to the thrift store earlier, like in January, with a friend, and found this thing, and it, for some reason, just reignited. I was just like, yes, this is what I do this for. I mean, part of it is just like people have been bringing me stuff like LPs or stuff they're trying to get rid of, so I've been going through that, and it's fine stuff and sellable, but it doesn't give me the weird satisfaction I love in finding a seahorse shoe hoard.
I love that so much. That's the coolest thing.
I love it. Yeah,
a shoehorn is so boring. Why not make it jazzy? Put a seahorse on the top.
Yeah, seahorses improve most things.
Yeah.
So since we're going a different direction, why don't we go with Joe? Why don't usually we go Katie? Joe, why don't you go since you got opinions?
All right. I got some opinions and I got some stuff too. And the thing I got this from an estate of I got it a while ago of the state of a woman, and I wasn't sure exactly. It's a garment, and I wasn't sure what it was, so I reached out to my friend Robin, a.k.a. House of Edgertor, on Instagram.
And she's featured guest.
What's that?
And a featured guest.
And she is. I just sent her a picture. I was like, "What can you tell me about this?" It is like I can't figure it out. I don't know like what it's supposed to be. And here is the garment in question.
Amazing.
It is a two-piece. This is like it's got like a sleeve. It's sort of like a robe that snaps on to the shoulder, and this is a sleeveless pantsuit underneath. I'll do the rest of the show like this, so I'm framed very exquisitely.
Yes, please.
So it's got like it's like a full bodysuit underneath, and this is from Fashions by Marilyn of New York. And I always love a sort of it almost seems very Fredericks of Hollywood. But I'm not.
Yep.
Except for 70s and more like cabana style.
Yeah,
It's
so
brilliant.
she said it was like it was just loungewear, and it's a pretty fun garment. I'm just glad, I don't know a lot about women's clothing, otherwise I would sell it online. It's, to be honest, it's just kind of like sizing is a mystery for me, so I don't know what to do with the thing. So into the shop it goes.
I will say that as an avid shopper of things online, especially vintage things, sometimes all you need to do is take measurements and then people can figure it out.
Okay.
I've noticed that. So if you don't know, like, oh, it's a 5'6" or it's a, 3'4", the best thing to do is just be like, this is the bust, this is the waist, this is the hip, and this is it, just laying flat on the ground, and then people can kind of guess. That's one thing that I've bought things just based on measurements. So
right on. Well, then I'll give that a
shot. I think you could make a mint on that. I think that's amazing.
I do too. I think people should wear more pantsuits and kind of cabana, like loungewear.
Yes.
I know our mutual friend Rami has an idea for a party called Kaftan Fantastic.
Which is maybe the best party name I've ever heard. I did tell her that.
It's so good.
It's aces.
It has to happen, and I will do whatever I must to get into this party.
And it has to happen in Palm Springs.
Yeah. And I think she's just like, well, do you want to cook for it? I'm like, sure.
Yeah. It's such a good idea.
Yeah, no, it's so good.
Chris is a very good cook. Shh.
Don't tell any women around that I'm handsome and a good cook.
And looks good in a turtleneck and can cook. There we go.
And 6'4". I don't know.
6'4". Don't tell him that.
6'4". There we go. Yeah, throw that in every time. That's good.
And clearly charismatic. Katie, why don't you go?
I found these are Architectural Digests. Now, Architectural Digests are the kind of magazine that I like to look at in Barnes & Noble, but is too expensive for me to purchase. Right. So, it's a kind of a pricey thing. The best thing about these is they're not the American Architectural Digest. So this one is an anniversary edition from Italy. It's huge. So it's like a double issue. This one is from France. It's Architectural Digest in France. And this one is Deutschland. It's German.
Sacre bleu.
And they're all about 20 years old. So this is 2003. I have 2004 and 2006. They're really fun to look at. And they were $1.
I'm sorry?
Wow.
$1.
Yeah. I just sold I bought like a lot of El Croquis, an architectural magazine out of Spain that I sold every copy for like $30 to $50. It was just like people dying for, like, I was just like, I had no idea. No,
people love what's funny is that they priced all these at $1, and on them there is an actual sticker. So this was $10.95 back in 2004.
Oh wow!
And then this one was $12.99, and the double issue was $16.95. So like they're a pricey catalog. Yeah. Even then, I know that they're worth something. Maybe I'll send it to a friend who sells media.
Maybe you should.
Oh, who could that be?
Because I do not sell media. And so maybe I'll look at them, take some pictures of the things that I like, and then send them off because they're in very good condition. Maybe we'll do that. Anyways, this was my item of joy because I've never seen these out in the wild. So I was excited.
I've seen them. And so we're going to move on to our next segment, which is Unearthed Treasure.
Unearthed Treasure.
We're ready to go into it. So classy, it could mean anything that you think classy means. So, Katie, why don't you go since we... look at that classy tongue.
That's pure class. That's class and sass, which is the best combo.
Okay, Katie.
Yes, and my classy item was found in Sacramento, California.
What?
And I've had it for a minute. And it is a marble lighter, which I can't think of anything classier than if you were having cigars or maybe a cheeky ciggy at a party to have a fancy ashtray and
Yeah.
this lovely, lovely lighter.
Wow.
I don't know. It seems old. It's very heavy. It's very, very heavy because of the marble. And then it's a silver top and an ornate silver bottom. And unfortunately, I don't have any way to light it anymore. I don't think it's that old because it has a push, but could be about 30 years older. But actually, Joe, you said that you might have flints.
I think I would guess they wouldn't fit because the ones I have are all Zippo flints. I bought a Zippo flint display off of eBay probably 20 years ago, and just used the individual flints to sell off and to use. If I got a Zippo, I'd be like, okay, let's like take out the old flint, put a new flint in there, bang, it's done, and I could sell it that way. But I don't Zippo like they didn't make tabletop lighters, so and they like weirdly flint sizes are kind of proprietary. Like Ronson has one size, Zippo has one size, and if you put the wrong size in, you sort of like have a hard time. You could have a real.
What did you
devil
say
of a
the
time
brand
getting it back
was?
out.
I'm trying to figure out the brand on this. What did you say, Roxon?
I think he got some spit in my mouth. That's classy.
Now you're double
That's
classy,
classy.
Joe. You got
Did you say Ronson?
kissed by classy.
Ronson?
Yeah. That's like that's like the less common. That's a less common, more like 60s and 70s.
This starts with an R and ends with an N.
Ronson, there you
and
go.
The middle is rubbed away, and it says "Made in the USA." Though I see USA here. Is it made in the USA? Maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look. I'm gonna have to do some research on this little guy.
Yeah.
And I'll figure out. I should have done that before this episode.
But you didn't have Joe's expertise to help guide you.
Right. There you go. Joe, what do you have that's classy?
Oh, not much. I just have
the classiest item.
This old thing. Hello.
It tops everything. Get it?
Yeah.
Just tops. That's the winner. 10 out of 10.
I have an imaginary hat that I'm constantly doffing, but you have a real hat that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive, Joe.
I also have a second one that I have a second top hat as well that I'll sell eventually, but it's really hard. Like, you don't get a lot of top hats in the wild, and so when you do, you're just like, especially ones that fit you. And also, I was going to wear this one, but it was sadly it's a little dusty because it's been on top of my. So I look more like a hobo than an actual gentleman with this.
Well, you'd have to like cut out half of the thing so it's flapping.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's where you keep your pet bird.
That's where something lives inside it.
Yeah.
That's where you have some sort of animal.
Beep, beep, beep,
Here we go.
In there.
Yeah.
Anything. A ferret.
The amazing disappearing Francis.
Oh, where did Francis go?
He's still there.
Magic.
Does Francis have his own set of hats?
I wish he had a set of hats.
So my classy thing is I originally thought this was a ice bucket, but it's some kind of
candle holder.
Glass lantern, which I still think is pretty classy.
It's beautiful.
I love this. Like this came in a group of stuff. It's cool. It seems weird just to like. I guess you'd put a candle in here, and it just feels like the candle would just be slopping around, unless you're just. But then if you were gonna keep it safe, you'd keep it on the ground. But then why the handle?
Right. And if it's burning a candle and you're holding it upright by that, there's no lid on it, and so it would burn your little fingers. So
my wee little fingers. So it's classy, but not well engineered. But
so maybe an ice bucket it should be.
Yeah, I think it'll eventually. I think it could be like an ice bucket for like iced tea, and just it'll classy up the space because I will it to. But I do.
I'd be impressed if I came over and there was that with ice in it. I might be intimidated, which means it's classy. So.
But then you've got to the problem is it's a lot of responsibility to have an ice bucket because you've got to wake up every 2 hours, drain the water out, refill it with ice in case somebody shows up, and just a lot of responsibility in an ice
Who are you
bucket.
keeping things cold for? Santa Claus? Like what?
Well, you never know
Why
who's
do
gonna
you?
stop
A
by.
household.
It just has to be ready.
So you're assuming that you're going to keep the ice bucket filled with ice all the time and drinks cold all the time.
Yes.
Well, yes.
Oh,
Yes. That's
I mean, you just want to be.
Chris.
You want to be prepared. Apparently, you weren't a very classy Boy Scout.
No, I was. Wow, that's what the job of the valet.
Yeah. Your butler does that.
Yeah, my well, the butler has a whole different set of jobs. So let's move on to our third and final segment: Tales from the Flypt.
Tales from the Flypt. Tales from the Flypt.
All right, we're back with
Tales from the Flypt.
And this segment is did people believe in you that you could make a living reselling before you actually made a living reselling? So who would like to go first? I'll open it up. I'll go first. Okay.
Just stare at you.
Just the like, now you know how to peer pressure me with silence. So
Not much silence either. It only took about like 1.8 seconds of.
Yeah, about 2 minutes.
Yeah, no,
I was getting ready to say Chris, so
Yeah.
there you go.
I could feel that. And so, in general, I think people were a little skeptical. I mean, I think it's kind of like a lot of people's dream that I know that, you know, like you go thrifting every day and then you resell. And so I think people, like, there was a couple of people who were like, well, like I remember someone saying, like, yeah, everyone wants to be able to do that, but, you know, you don't see people doing it. And so I think people were surprised, you know, like I was a little surprised because it happened so organically. Like I just started doing it because I realized like money was tight and I didn't want to buy stuff for the house. So I stopped going to thrift stores, but I missed going to thrift stores. So I went back and started going thrifting, and then I started buying stuff to sell on eBay. And I'm like, oh, this is perfect. I get to enjoy it, get stuff, and then send it on its way. But then it just built. And then over the pandemic, I ended up like making enough money that I was just like, oh, I can either get on the government dole, or I can just keep doing this and get better at this job. And that's what I just made my living throughout the pandemic, thrifting and eBaying. And
so you did it as a side thing and then parlayed it into a full thing.
It basically, because producing and comedy writing is like so up in the air.
Gig.
Yeah, it's a gig, and
Gig
sometimes
based,
you get it, sometimes you don't.
Yeah.
And last year was kind of difficult because everyone was on strike and nothing was happening, and everyone was terrified. And most people have a side hustle. Like 95% of actors don't make a living in LA from acting; they make a living somewhere else.
Absolutely.
Yeah, a friend of mine who is I would say, successful actress, like still work when she's not working. She does tables at a restaurant, that she's able to kind of come in and out when she needs to. And they're like, oh, aren't you that woman from this show? And she's like, yep. What do you guys want to drink?
I would say that's the good thing, like, because in the entertainment industry, tons of jobs are like that, right? Where you have a gig for a while, or, you know, there'll be spaces. So to be able to have something that you can do during those spaces and throughout that also is flexible is the best, because you're your own boss, because you thrift and sell on your own time. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like a lot of Uber drivers are actors or writers, or people who just like need just
DoorDash, all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So what about you, Katie? Did people believe in you before?
I don't remember if people believed in me. I just did it. I did quit a job to do it.
Yeah.
I was actually going to be doing some more gig-based stuff, I thought, and I just didn't. I was working at a store that I just didn't want to be at forever, and I didn't really want to move up into management at that store, and it was a resale store, and I thought I can sell this on eBay. I can figure out how to. I was seeing sort of what prices were just even at resale, and then figured I could make money, because when you sell at a resale store, you're getting a very small percentage, especially with clothing. Most of the stores, you would get back maybe 20% in cash of their selling price if you're doing an immediate, not consignment. Consignment's a little bit higher when you go in and they do it later. We can have a whole day about consignment versus resale. But anyways,
we will.
But I thought I could do it, and I wanted to do it. I didn't want to work there anymore, and it seemed to work. And then I just sort of did it. I've just done it forever now. So even if I have another job, I still do it on the side. Joe has the most interesting, because you do it on multiple levels. You sell at different kinds of things, not just one particular way. You have multiple ways that you're able to resell. So
yeah,
how did you get into it?
When I started, I was like, I mean, I've been on eBay for, probably, I think I just had my 25th anniversary past last year.
Wow.
So, because they sent
Did all three of us start on eBay? Did everybody here start on eBay?
Yes,
oh, okay,
absolutely.
Great. Okay.
So when I started on eBay, it was before they even had before you needed to post a picture.
Oh wow!
And so you would there was you would get you just have to take their word for it, and none of that, like PayPal didn't even exist at first. So I remember like buying on eBay and selling on eBay. I would end up like sending out cashier's checks or postal money orders to people, and then like getting cashier's checks and postal money orders from people, and then so everything was like there was a lot less instant gratification on eBay. But when I decided to do it full time, I was writing, and then I was no longer writing, and I was like, I don't want to. I thought I could maybe just do some writing on the side, like, and then eventually I was like, I don't want to do that hustling. I don't want to, like, I'm really bad at selling myself, and I take rejection very poorly. So I decided I was just going to go full bore into sales. And so I started with eBay, and then I just like did eBay, and then I did a flea market that I still do, but I'm at the point where I'm like, I just can't figure out how to make any decent money on eBay. It's just basically or not on eBay, but at flea markets. So I've kind of just turned it into I turned the flea market into I am just trying to get rid of as much stuff as possible at this flea market, and maybe there'll be some higher end stuff, but mostly it's just going to be like a tub of stuff for 50 cents, a table of free stuff to get out of here, and here's a rack of $4 t-shirts. Go nuts, kids. Got it. And then I got a space at a one of those hybrid consignment shops / antique malls.
Right.
And
yeah.
Sort of it built up from there. So, and that was good. It was like it was right when they opened up. I had seen the owner, the guy who would, like, the co-owner of the consignment shop. I'd seen him at auctions and had talked to him a little bit, but not much. And then I was like, I heard he had it. I was like, hey Eric, you got a spot? I hear you have any spaces available? He's like, yeah, you do mid-century furniture and stuff like that, right? I'm like,
sure.
Yeah, you got me.
Yes.
The only answer is yes. Yes, that's me, mid-century Joe.
Yeah. I have sold pieces of mid-century furniture, but mostly it's just it's a little bit of this and that. Yeah.
Yeah. Although, honestly, like our mutual friend Sasha said when Joe decided, like, we were talking about, like, what's Joe doing now? I had moved out here. He had moved out here. He's like, what's Joe Garden doing now? And I'm like, oh, he's full-time eBay reseller. And he's just like, oh, that makes sense. I always kind of felt that comedy writing got in the way of his reselling. So, which is something I think of all. And it's just like, yeah, that's true. Joe's always had a little store somewhere. Like in the old Onion office, he had like a Joe's Cold Beverages.
Became a bodega I ran.
Yeah.
And then, soda's 50 cents, best deal, considering you didn't even have to leave a great deal, considering you didn't have to leave the office.
And then, great deal. I used to, and then when we moved to another job together, he was selling grilled cheeses, and like for like a couple bucks, grilled cheese, soda, and chips for like $4 or $5. And then I started bringing in like gumbo and selling that for $5.
Competition.
Yeah.
And then
we were right next to each other.
It's a free market, you know. You can't.
That's not classy.
That is very classy. That's capitalism, therefore.
Classy competition.
Exactly.
As Joe, I have been inspired. I am trying to get a booth right now at the place where I bought the magazines.
Ooh.
They're full. So we will have booths. We'll both have booths. I haven't done it in a long time. I haven't had a booth somewhere in maybe 12 years. So I'm nervous, but I'm also kind of excited. I'm trying to figure it out. It might be all mid-century furniture. I'm just kidding. No, it might be a lot of furniture that I've painted, like things that I'm fixed up.
Yeah, perfect.
Right. Paint the leather, all the leather you've painted.
And a lot of leather, a lot of boots that have things on them that nobody wants but me.
Exactly.
Just boots covered in rainbow glitter. Look, you either want to look like David Bowie or you don't. And there's two kinds of people. I'm the first type. So
I started writing a song called I Want to Be Someone's Hot Croissant, just about like dating. And people are like, what does that mean? I'm like, well, if you like croissants, you want it hot and you want it. Like, there's not any ambiguity whether you like croissants or not. Like,
it's not about being flaky.
Yeah, no.
Make that distinction that it's not that you're a flake. Yeah, you're a hot.
But I am buttery.
Yeah, butter.
Butter is smooth. Is how I like. As soon as I put a turtleneck on, it's a whole different Karwowski.
Yeah. I can't wait till that crystal necklace gets here. Let's get that crystal necklace going. And Joe and I are both waiting on ours.
Guys, I think we did it. I think we recorded another fantastic episode of Show and Sell.
How do we keep on bringing this quality over and over again? It's impossible. It's like you'd think that we would be dead, but no, we're still here. We're just bringing you. We're just like working in the quality mines, just bringing up gem after gem.
Yep, exactly.
Unstoppable. And look at Francis.
Yeah, he barely seems stressed out at all.
Totally fine. He thinks we're great. If Francis loves us, you should too, and you should give us a thumbs up below and tell a friend.
And also smash that subscribe button.
Don't forget to
like, subscribe. Hey, hold on. Hey! Thanks, everybody. Like, share, subscribe.
Hey, thanks for coming, everybody.
Don't you see the difference in the difference that you make from the cops that you put to the names that you take? You got ladies and bees all giving you honey, and you whack more balls than the color of money. You know Melissa Cherry doesn't do porn. To get funky and do the popcorn, eat your pause from China. Also they say you'll understand when it opens on Friday. Can I